Hello everyone and welcome back to another video with Yoseka. Today I will be talking about the MT Trehari Tape Cutter. This is a very handy little tool that cuts strips of tape that are thin, specifically 5 millimeters thin. So these are some different types of refills that you can get for it. There's like a lot of different colors, but in this video I'm going to show you how to set it up because there is a little bit of assembly required when you first get the tape, and how to refill it. Those steps will basically be the same. And then I will show you some common ways that you might be able to use it so you can have some inspiration for your planners or journals. So let's get right into it. So this is the Trehari Cutter, and this is the packaging that it comes in. These are just the refills, so we can take a look at these later. I have these two here because this type is a little bit special. It's specially made for studying, whereas this is the standard Trehari cutter that you'll receive. So let's open this one first. So when you first open this up, it looks like this little correction tape runner almost, and that's the concept. The tape will come out of here and you run it along and you can cut it off. There are these serrated blades at the very end, and so that's what the cutter uses to cut the tape off of. It's just plastic, it's not metal, so it's not too sharp, but I can definitely feel that it's serrated and sharp enough to cut the tape. And you'll notice there is no tape coming out of here yet, and that's because you have to set it up when you first receive it. So to open up the cutter, you can just pull on the casing like this. It'll open up and you can see the inner mechanisms, kind of cool. And this is the tape that it comes with. Each one has like a corresponding color. So the pink one's got a pinkish color. This one's got blue because it's the blue cutter. And this is the tape. It's actually a tracing paper material. It's a little bit different than their regular washi tape. It's a little more translucent, as you can see, and the texture is kind of more like, well, tracing paper. It's like rice papery, so it's a little bit different. So now you can put the tape back in to the little holder, and you want to put the beginning portion of the tape in between the gears so it can catch it. So you want to be able to put the tape right in between the gears, like that. It should slide in fairly easily, like this. You just want it in between there. As long as it's in there, it'll catch it. So once the tape is fed in there and it's in between the gears, you can advance it just like that. And now you can see it's coming out on the other side here. And then to cut it, you'll have to put some pressure on the top gear here so that it stops the tape from coming out. And you can tear it off like that. So let me show you again. This is nice to see while the inside is open. You use this to advance the tape, use the gear to advance the tape. And once you have a good portion on the outside, you hold the gear in place and then tear the tape. It's pretty cool, and it's cool to see the inner workings of these gears as well. So now we have our two little tapes here. I'm going to put the cover back on like this, just like that. And so now you have your setup MT Trehari tape cutter. So that's all you needed to get started with the tape cutter. I'll show you how to use it in a notebook now. So here I have a Hobonichi planner, and this tape is designed to be kind of like a notification or like a highlight, but in a tape form. So if you have an event that you need to move around, or you just have something that you don't think will be permanent, you can use the tape, use the gear to advance the tape out, get it started, and then you can use it kind of like a correction tape style while holding it in place with your finger. And then, don't forget, hold the gear and tear like that. And then you have a strip of tape. And since it's a tracing paper material, you should be able to write on it. Oh, this is something that I wanted to test. It says you should only use permanent marker, but I wanted to test it with gel pen, so we're testing. Hey, it works. It's probably gonna smudge, but you know, I was able to write a little bit. Let's see. Oh, that's actually not so bad. This is a Sarasa Nano, which has pretty good ink in it. I find that the Sarasa Nanos tend to be able to write on most things that tend to be only reserved for permanent inks or ballpoint pens. So this is actually quite nice. You can do whatever you want on it, like that. And then let's say, you know, whatever this event was, you don't need to use it anymore, or you don't need to attend that event. The event got rescheduled. You can move it around to a different time, a different day, like that. So that's that. And it's really nice to use in the monthly sections because I think this is where people do most of their scheduling that tends to get moved around. Like aside from birthdays and appointments, I think if you have, or I mean, aside from birthdays and anniversaries, if you have appointments, I think those can tend to get moved around. So if you want to put something down like this, like you have a meeting that day, you can put it down, but if it gets rescheduled, you can move it to whichever day you want. And the tape is so thin that you're really only taking up one grid, kind of as if you were going to write it in here anyways, which is also nice because it's not as space consuming as like a sticky note or highlighter that you can't erase. So this is quite nice like this, and for this reason, they have these types of refills in many different colors. Some of these you'll find already come with the cutter. So like this blue tape in here is the same one that comes in this cutter, but they only come in packs of 3 because they're so small. So I like that you get a variety of colors. This one's kind of like highlightery colors in a muted tone, and this one's like highlighters in a very bright highlighter tone. So it's definitely meant to be used for planners, but you can also use it for decorating and just having a nice thin 5mm tape. So they make refills like this too that are a little bit more decorative if you just want to shout out like a birthday or anniversary, or use it for decorating in some other way. These tapes, the 5mm thickness is actually really, really thin compared to regular washi tapes. Most slim washi tapes that we have or we see are usually 7mm, which is like this, or 8mm. And so the 5mm thinness makes quite a difference. Don't know if you can really see it, but it's quite a bit thinner than most slim washi tapes. So it's very cool. And that is that. One more special thing that I wanted to talk about with the Trehari Cutter is this version, which is for studying. So this one comes with this green packaging and an off-white cutter. If you open up the cutter, the tape on the inside is actually pink. It's not matching colors like all of the other cutters are. This one has this pinkish reddish tape because when you overlay the green on it, it actually turns black or very, very dark. So if you overlay tape over text, you can overlay the green and use it to study and memorize words from text. So if you have some text that you're reading that has lines that you'd like to memorize, some facts, you can actually use this. Get your text, your textbook, whatever you're reading, put it over the text, and it'll still be readable through the pink, but then when you overlay this green, it will disappear and you'll have to practice remembering whatever's under there. Egg white and cane sugar. Egg white and cane sugar. So I think that's a pretty cool feature of this. I think it's really nice because a lot of textbooks you have to return at the end of the year, or you don't want to damage by actually writing in the textbook. So this is a nice way to study within a textbook without doing damage to it. And this looks a little bit weird, and I don't want to do this on camera because it feels sacrilegious to me, but this packaging actually says cut here because you're meant to cut this out from the packaging so you can use it and take it around with you in this flat format. But I'm not going to do that because it like feels wrong, even though that's the way it should be used. And I love that the packaging becomes something usable and functional rather than something that you just throw away. But that's this in the study version. I think it's so cool. Alrighty, so that is everything that you need to know about the MT Trehari Tape Cutter. I hope you have fun using this, and let me know if you found other washi tapes that will fit in here, because it says that you can only use it with the 5mm washi tapes, but the opening looks big enough to be able to hold something like a 7 or 8mm tape, right? Like, that seems possible. But yeah, let me know if you have any success with other tapes, or if you have any other questions. I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!